So without further ado, I like to introduce my album. My album. Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is tucking their toe between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit cause they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut. It's a person that would never waver or change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger. It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to? I done did things that I regret. I done said things I can't take back. Was a lost soul at a crossroad who had no hope, but I changed that. I spent years of my life holding on to things I never should have kept, full of hatred. Years of my life carrying a lot of baggage that I should have walked away from. Years of my life wishing I was someone different, looking for some validation. Years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was in. They get it. Necessary evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial. Some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I didn't ever hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose to not accept defeat and face your demons. Took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really take a step back and look in the mirror. At least for me, that's what it did. Wake up every day and pick my son up, hold him in my arms and let him know he's loved. Standing by the window questioning if that is ever going to show up. Isn't something he's gonna have to worry about, don't get it twisted, that was in the shop. Mama, I forgive you, I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough. 30 years of running, 30 years of searching, 30 years of hurting, 30 years of pain, 30 years of fearful, 30 years of anger, 30 years of empty, 30 years of shame, 30 years of broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hey, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of fate, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing everyone away. You'll never evolve. I know I can change. We are not enough. We are not the same. You don't have the heart. You don't have the strength. You don't have the will. You don't have the faith. You'll never be loved. You'll never be safe. Might as well give up. Not running away. You don't have the guts. You're the one afraid. I'm the one in charge. I'm taking the reins. I could write a record full of radio songs, do a bunch of features that my label would love, do a bunch of features that I don't even like, just to build up the hype. Yeah, I could sell my house and move out to LA, get inside of rooms with the biggest of names, hire 50 people just to give me advice on the way I should write. Oh God, yeah, sounds like a nightmare if you ask me. Yeah, went from my bedroom to the big leagues. You know how many times that I was told things wouldn't work but worked out. Having cold feet didn't keep me from success but delayed it some. I used to be the guy who killed to get it #1. I had to hear that song's a hit before I thought it was, but nowadays I don't really give a what? Oh God, yeah. Might catch me at the award show, eating popcorn in the back row.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another live stream. My name is Tyler Ramsby. If you don't know who I am, welcome. Hey, I want to let you know that I'm live right now on 3 different platforms. You can join on whatever platform works best for you, but I'm live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. On YouTube and LinkedIn, I just stream under my name, Tyler Ramsby, and over on Twitch, I stream under the handle hack_smarter. So YouTube and LinkedIn is Tyler Ramsby, Twitch, it is Hack Smarter, and I apologize right away. This is not my normal hack all the things streams. I'm actually on a pen test right now, but I am using essentially my lunch break to hang out with you guys for an hour because it has been a while. And the reason it's been a while is I have been on a pen test. In addition to Hack Smarter, the labs, the videos, all the stuff that I make there, I run my own pen testing company called Kairosec, and that's what I have been working on about the past 2 weeks. But I do have some good news. The pen test is almost done, and I will have a lot more time coming up very soon to hang out with you guys basically every single day to do our traditional hacking streams. Now, before I answer any questions, I want to make BC Thinks happy. He's been yelling at me to do a vertical AMA. I don't actually know if I can do it from OBS here, so I'm gonna try it. If I break everything, guys, it is BC Thinks' fault, not my fault. All right, so BC Thinks, this is for you. I'm gonna try to switch this to a vertical stream, and then I will answer some questions. But like I said, I'm not entirely. I can't. Sorry, BC Thinks. I was gonna try to switch the output in OBS right now, but I can't. It doesn't let me switch it after I've already started the stream. So BC Things, I'm gonna do my best to remember. the next AMA, I will try it out. There's more than just switching the dimensions though. I have to move the chat and everything around on the restream window and make sure everything's situated. But BC Things, I can't promise because there is a good chance I'll forget, but I'm going to do my best. The next time we do just an AMA, I'm going to try to do a vertical stream. I can't do a vertical stream for my hacking streams because you wouldn't be able to see my screen, but for the AMA, I think, do it. So I'm going to try to remember BC Thinks, but I apologize if I forget. The next AMA, it will be a vertical stream, if it works anyways. I haven't done it via OBS. I think a lot of vertical streams, people just take their phones and like flip their phones up. I don't know if I can do it with Restream or not, but generally I use OBS and then I pipe it into Restream. So I have to change the dimensions in OBS, which I think is doable, but not doable for this stream apparently since it's already started. It's grayed out in OBS. I'll even show this to you here. Do I pinky promise? I'll try to pinky promise. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Maybe. Oh, no. Okay, no, it's not going to let me show the OBS screen with the OBS screen share. But yes, it is grayed out. All right, well, hello, everyone. Once again, this is not going to be my normal hacking all the things stream just because I have limited time because I am on a pen test, but it's been a while. I think my last live stream is when we did our race condition workshop with my good friend Tinas, and that was mainly Tinas. I was just there kind of in the audience learning. One cool thing, though, is I actually found, is it 3 now? I think I'm up to 3 race conditions in the web app pen test that I'm on right now. So the things you learn in that workshop are real world. I literally found the exact vulnerabilities in a real world web app pen test that I am doing at this moment, this week, the past couple of weeks. Vertical, but why? BC Thinks claims that if I do a vertical stream, you know, all of a sudden have Mr. Beast level viewers. So we have to test his theory. All right, let me just scroll up real quick and see if there's any questions up above. Otherwise, hey, drop your questions. Any questions you have about career, cybersecurity, certs, business ownership, entrepreneurship, you name it, I probably do it, and I would be happy to at least do my best to answer your question. If I don't know the answer, I'll be honest and say I don't know the answer. But let me let me rather scroll from the top and see what people have to say. Nurkat said, how can I get an offer from a FANG company, and is there a clear roadmap I can follow or any advice? So this is one of those questions that I do not know, and when I do not know, I'll be honest. I have never worked for a FANG company. I'll be honest with you, I never want to work for a FANG company. Especially in today's job market, I feel like those companies are being hit hard with layoffs. And I, of course, work for myself now. Like, I have my own businesses, so that's one reason I don't want to work for FANG. But even if I wasn't doing my own thing, I would prefer to work for a much smaller organization. I'm not a fan of those the FANG type companies. So I've never worked for them, never tried to work for them, so I don't have a good answer for you, but I do appreciate you being here. Yay Security said, "Hey Tyler, what after completing Hack the Box CWES course? Is it CPTS course? I didn't pass the CWES exam." You know, it would be better, especially since he didn't pass the exam. I have an amazing web app pen testing course coming out, guys, in 1 week. 1 week from today, which is insane. February 17th, my Foundations of Web App Pen Testing course comes out. Fully video based, over 80 videos, over 30 custom labs with an amazing capstone challenge that you'll be able to stream, make write-ups on, make reports on in order to add to your portfolio. But I think that if you take the CWS and you go through my course, you'll be able to pass the CWES exam if that is the cert that you are aiming for. But guys, that comes out in 1 week. It's done. The course is completely done. It is going through final QA now, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys, and I'll live stream that day as well as kind of a celebration. Actually, I'll share with you my live streaming schedule coming up. It's going to be amazing. I'll be streaming almost every single day doing hacking stuff very, very soon. But as far as next steps go, I mean, it depends what you want. The CPTS is good, but I would say if you want to become a pen tester, it is still the OSCP is going to be your gold standard. But let's just be real. The job market right now is very difficult. And I share this in my web app pen testing course. I have kind of a roadmap for becoming a pen tester, but it takes more than certifications, right? So I'd recommend getting the OSCP. I'd recommend doing CVE hunting and finding your own CVEs. And I recommend building your own platform, a YouTube channel, a blog, being active on LinkedIn. You almost need all of those pieces together right now in order to get to that interview. Nurkat said, "Are you also asked if he plans to do a live stream focus on web tasks or if he only does Active Directory? I really like his videos, but I'd love to see more web bug bounty content." Are you talking about me? It's weird because you're asking like in the third person, like Tyler should ask Tyler. But yeah, so I do all kinds of content. If you go back through my YouTube channel, I have almost 800 completely free videos on YouTube where I teach all sort of content. A lot of my hacking content now comes directly from the Hack Smarter platform, which let me just share this with you guys. All right, anytime I have the opportunity to do some self-promotion, I'm going to take it. So this is one of the things that I'm working on building. I do think that this gives you incredible value, especially for the price point. Let me drop a link in chat. Please note that right now our all access subs are a 43% discount off. Only $16 a month unlocks all courses, all hack with me's, all labs, etc., etc. But if you've been following my live streams, what I often do is I'm solving the machines in order that they have been released on our platform, and we release new machines all the time. And the type of machines that are released have really been from the community. So the reason it's been a heavy focus on Active Directory is the machines that people have submitted have had a heavy focus on Active Directory. So hey, if you want me to do more web stuff, you should release some labs. So I think we just finished the Cisco machine in the last live stream. And then we'll be doing Welcome, Midgarden 2, Northbridge Systems, Odyssey, OWASP Juice Shop I added just out of request. I probably won't do a whole live stream on it. Then we have some AWS labs. We have a web app lab there. This is a mix of AWS and web. Looks like this is Windows and Linux. We have another web app lab there, AD lab, AD, SQL lab, a web app lab, and another web app lab. So yes, web app labs and streams are coming. Note that we also added sorting. So if you want to see what web labs we have, you can go to web. We'll be adding a lot more. But as I said before, my upcoming web app pen testing course is going to have over 30 completely custom web app pen testing labs and teaching you how to do a real web app pen test, like from the perspective of someone who does this, myself. I'm on a 2-week web app pen test right now, and I run my own pen testing firm. So I'm not just teaching you, hey, here's a cool freaking YouTube anonymous mask, but literally how it works in the real world. So I think you'll enjoy that. All right, let me jump back over to questions. Scroll back up. Cyber jobs need certs and certs need money. You're right. I mean, I would say cyber jobs don't need certs. A free alternative would be doing security research. So I think I'm at like 12 CVEs now, but finding CVEs, if you get multiple CVEs on your resume, especially if it's in a popular product, you can bypass the cert requirement by showing that you can do real security research. So it's possible to do it without certs. Certs are just one aspect, one way of getting in. Sixpack 619 said, "Hey Tyler, I'm giving a sliver presentation for our team next week and using some info from your sliver evasion course. Beyond your top 5 armory tools, what other armory tools should I cover?" Oh man, I don't have a good answer to that. I'd have to sit down and look at the armory and think about what tools would be helpful. I'll come back to your question. So Sixpack 619, if you can remind me, I want to hit all the other questions first, and then if we have a little bit of time at the end, I will open up Sliver here on my Kali VM, and we can go through some of the armory modules and see which ones I use regularly and which ones I recommend. But off memory, I can't think of like, hey, this one, this one, this one. But if I'm looking at the armory list, then I'd be able to give you some. So remind me at the end if we have time, once I get through all the questions, because that might take a little bit longer. What's up, Foss Hacks? Good to have you here. We got Christopher Pitt said, "Hello, TR. For auditing purposes, where do you keep your reports and do you encrypt them? Also, if you send the report over email, do you encrypt it?" Good question. So what I use, and I can show this to you guys, obviously not my actual thing, but I use Dratus Pro for all of my reporting. So let me drop the link here. This stream is not sponsored by Dratus Pro. It was actually honestly a big headache to get set up. They offer really good support, but I'm the type of person that just like, even if you offer me support, I'm going to YOLO and just bang my head against the keyboard until I figure it out. The biggest challenge with Dratus is it uses Microsoft Word templates. In order, you then upload the templates and you have to customize custom things in the templates to make them work. I use Linux. I don't use Microsoft. So just to use Dratus, I had to boot into my Windows machine. It's sitting over here, but I RDP into it for my Linux machine and then get like my Word licensing and everything set up so I can make the custom template. And then just making the template to do what I wanted to do, I think took me like probably 3 to 5 days of solid work, research, troubleshooting, bugging things out in order to figure it out. So it took me a lot of time to set up Dratus, but they do offer support to help you with that. Once it's all set up, then you don't really have to mess with Word. You do all of it in the dashboard, and then you export it as Word, PDF, Excel for like a table. So once it's all set up, it works really well. And I don't have a team, but I can't log in, guys. If I log in, it shows like my actual Dratus instance that I use. But there's team stuff built into it. There's a QA functionality built into it. And so if you have a team, I think it would be super useful. It's just me that does pen testing, and it's also not super cheap. So I don't use the community edition. I use this edition. Well, I could have swore it was called something else before. I don't pay this much. I'm pretty sure I only pay $79 a month. So I don't know if they recently updated their pricing, because I'm almost certain I'm not paying this much per month for Dratus. But I mean, if you're doing pen testing, you know, a little bit of a pen test is going to pay for this itself. But it does a lot of cool stuff. Now, I don't use the community, so I can't vouch for the community. Although, honestly, I might be able to get away just using the community version of it. But I use this assess version of Dratus. Now, what I like about Dratus, to answer your actual question that you asked, and let me scroll back up because it scrolled down to the bottom when I dropped the link. There it is. Do you keep reports? Do you encrypt them? Also, if you send the report or email, do you encrypt it? So the way Dratus works, at least the assess version, I'm not sure about the community version, is they actually send you I don't know if it's a .ova. I don't remember what it was that they sent me, but they send you like essentially a virtual machine that you host however you want to host it. And then that virtual machine is fully encrypted. Like every time you boot it, you have to do the full disk encryption, decryption, all that fun stuff. So it's fully encrypted. But what I like about it is it's not hosted in the cloud or anywhere. It, like literally all the reports and all the reporting that I do is only hosted locally here. It is not internet facing at all. I do use Tailscale in order so I can access it from wherever if I want to, but it's all just hosted locally on my network. It's not cloud-based. It's not hosted by Dratus. It's hosted by me on my own local network for that security purposes. And yes, it's fully encrypted. When I send over the report, I do not send it over email. I think email in general is not a good way to send confidential information such as a report. Generally, when you're doing a pen test, you work with the client and you figure out what they prefer for the file sharing method. A lot of clients have maybe like Dropbox or some file share that they prefer that has been vetted by their team, and then you just share it with them through whatever they prefer. If they don't have something that they prefer, then often, like right now, I'm on a pen test and I have a shared Slack channel with the client. So we share things back and forth in our shared Slack channel if we both have like business accounts. Otherwise, at Kairosec, we use Google Workspace. So then I will share it in a specific Google Drive just for them and only share it specifically with them. So just that whoever my contact is at the organization has access to download the report, and then I destroy the report. So it's not hanging out there in Google Drive. But as a general rule, you don't generally want to send like a pen test report or sensitive information over email to the client. You do want to, during the project planning, figure out what secure communication channels the client prefers and what works well with both of you. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, Christopher Pitt, but hopefully that is helpful. So let's see. Do you keep your reports? I keep them locally in Dratus Pro. Do you encrypt them? Yes, they're fully encrypted. And no, I do not send over email. I sent you screenshot proof of the same. More viewers. All right, BC thinks I believe you. How much is the course? I don't know which course that you are talking about, but I'm going to assume you're talking about the Foundations of Web App Pen Testing course. It is going to be... I know what it is when it first releases, but I don't remember the final price. Oh, no, not that. Times 2. Okay. So the Foundations of Web App Pen Testing course, I don't know how to make the Make calendar bigger. Can I? I always have this issue. I don't know how to make it larger. Like, anyways, the final price of the course will be around $59.98, but on release, geez, it will only be $29.99. So 50% off, 50% off on release for lifetime access to the entire course, all the labs, no subscription required. Now, alternatively, if you want access to all of my courses, you can do a sub. So the Hack Smarter All Access, it comes to about $200 a year. If you do the annual plan, about $16 a month. That unlocks all of my courses, all of my Hack With Me's, which are like mini courses, all of the labs, and our upcoming ranges, which the first range will hopefully be coming out in March. It was going to be February. We swapped some dates around between my web app course and that first range. But Hack Smarter All Access gives you access to, well, as it sounds, all of it. So the web app course will be $29.99 for lifetime access via one-time purchase, or if you want to support the platform a little more and get access to literally everything on the platform, you can do the Hack Smarter All Access. I will say this price is probably going to go up when I release the course, but here's a cool thing about Hack Smarter. If you subscribe today, you get locked in at whatever rate you subscribe at. So if you subscribe today, for example, to Hands-On Labs or Hack Smarter All Access, even when the price increases in the future, you get locked in at whatever price you subscribed at. So that's like a benefit of being an early adopter to the Hack Smarter platform. All right, scrolling. Yes, I agree with Thicolo. So Thicolo said, maybe 20 years ago, Fang were the innovators. Now you are just a cog in the machine of Fang. I agree. That's what I don't like about it. Bearded IT, what's your beard regimen? Dude, I'm not like you and Chuck. I barely have a beard, let alone a beard regimen. My beard regimen is I take a shower basically every day. I box at night, like I exercise, and then I shower. That is my beard regimen. It's very fancy. What do I think about the ethical hacker certificate at Cisco? I don't really have much thoughts on it. Someone else brought that up a while ago. Let's look at it. Ethical hacker, Cisco. By the way, BC thinks if you're still here, this is one of the issues with vertical screen sharing. When I'm trying to do things like share my screen here, if we were in vertical mode right now, it'd be really hard to see all this stuff. But we'll still try it. So Cisco does have a certificate in ethical hacking. I don't hear much about it. I don't know if any pen testing firms are looking for it. I kind of doubt it. But I could be wrong here. I'm curious what it all covers. Let's learn how the program works together. I mean, here I get it. They're trying to sell this cert. Here's a thing that is a little bit tough, right? It says pen testing job growth is 33%. It's projected to grow, blah, blah, much faster than average. I would say this is true if you are a mid to senior level pen tester. If you are a junior pen tester and just trying to break into the field, pen testing is pretty difficult to get into, at least right off the bat. It's generally more an advanced field. Now, if you have a few years of pen testing experience under your belt, then that's awesome. You've already broken into the field. Honestly, I think job growth for you does look really, really good, but it's that initial breaking in that's going to be difficult. This is relatively accurate for offensive security pros, but you have to keep in mind this salary is usually 2 to 4 years of experience. In a junior pen tester job, you might be starting at $80,000 to $90,000 a year. And they're using this whole look at this cybersecurity job shortage, and I think we've all have been sick of that. So I'm not a fan of that, of them using that as a means of selling their certification. Let's see how the program works. Become proficient in the art of scoping, executing, and reporting on vulnerability assessments. You're not going to. I can tell you right now that that's not going to happen from a class. Like, just scoping an engagement, guys, is incredibly difficult, and you only get good at scoping engagements by scoping a bunch of different pen test engagements. You're not going to become proficient from a course on any of that. What's this? Pass the course exam and then take the CTF. Is the course exam multiple choice? If the exam is multiple choice, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's definitely not worth it. Pen testing exam should never be multiple choice, but it might not be. I don't even know. Okay, what does it cover? So it's not even hosted labs for you? Guys, I'm just saying my courses actually offer significantly more than the Cisco course. I'm just not going to give you a silly cert when you're done. Yeah, they have 12. Okay, they have maybe 12 videos, 12 sections on this, on application based. So it seems like it gives you a good overall viewpoint of maybe how pen testing is, but it's not gonna. Oh, it's free. Well, I guess that makes sense then. All right, if it's free, it is what it is. It says 34 labs. I think they're self-hosted. They're not hosted for you. So that gives me a little better taste for it since it's free based on what they're covering. I'm guessing if you do the instructor-led model, what's that cost? Oh, you have to like find an academy. Jeez. So I don't know. I would say if you're going to focus on a certification, I wouldn't recommend the Cisco ethical hacking cert. I'd recommend the hands-on stuff from Hack the Box or OffSec or TCM. And they said, what are the most effective techniques for acquiring clients in the cybersecurity industry? I don't know, dude. When you figure it out, let me know. I will say that's definitely one of the most difficult things about, like, if you start your own consulting or pen testing firm. I've seen people on Reddit talk about this. Like, some person was like, hey, I quit my job and I started a cybersecurity consultancy, but I can't find clients. Well, if you weren't planning on that, like, you just need a plan in the first year being difficult to find clients. All right. What I have going for me is kind of a cheat code, right? So I've been making content for almost 5 years. I've like was on the keynote panel at the Red Team Village at DEF CON. I keynoted Simply CyberCon. I have YouTube that I do all the time. I have the Hack Smarter community. So I've been building this for a long time before officially launching on my own. But I do have like my own pen testing firm here. But I'll say even for us, finding clients isn't easy. And you have like me and Jerry, kind of the name recognition behind it. And the clients that we have so far have come through personal relationship. Like they know me or they know Jerry and they reach out. That's what I would say is 99% of our clients is through that personal relationship and networking. So it's just like landing a job in offensive security. It comes down to networking, building relationships so people actually know who you are. It's not that if you build it, you'll come. Like every once in a while, actually just yesterday, I had someone fill out the get a quote, but very few clients come through the get a quote feature. Like people aren't finding this organically and then submitting information for a quote. I think that will come. Like we've only been in here in the first year and I'm actually at a point. We just landed, guys. This is amazing. Just got official confirmation from the client yesterday. It was semi-official, so I posted on LinkedIn, but it's official now. We just landed our first 6-figure pen testing deal, which is amazing. A little over $100,000. Now, I don't get all of that, but it'll be huge for Cybersecurity to help build things up. But as a result, I'm like completely booked starting with June onto October for that one client, which is amazing. But I can only do so much as one person. So I've hit my goals that I set for 2026 as far as Cybersecurity goes. And thankfully I hit that because Cybersecurity is what makes Hack Smarter affordable. It's subsidizing a lot of the Hack Smarter stuff. If you're wondering how is Hack Smarter so affordable for the amount of content you get, it's because Hack Smarter isn't my only thing. If Hack Smarter was my only full-time gig, I'd have to raise prices significantly because I can't cover all the costs with the current price point. But because I do Cybersecurity and Hack Smarter, what I do is I do pen testing. Like that's my business to business sales. And then I'm able to use the money I make from pen testing to subsidize Hack Smarter to keep Hack Smarter as affordable and as accessible for as many people as possible. So that's how I'm doing it now. That's kind of my plan for the future. It was the other way around for a little bit. So authentically, I was having issues actually finding clients on the Cybersecurity side of things. So then Hack Smarter, I was trying to use that to pay most of my bills, but then that's a struggle because it's business to consumer. So I share all of that to say I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out, guys. My goal is this. I don't want to be someone's employee, right? And between Hack Smarter and Cybersecurity, my only goal is to pay my bills, which are relatively few because I live in rural South Dakota and I never raised my standard of living back from, well, when I was broke. So it doesn't take that much money for me to pay my bills, but that's my goal between Cybersecurity and Hack Smarter to pay my bills. And if I'm able to do that, I want to use the extra money to heavily subsidize the training for those who maybe can't afford it. Don't know if that answers your question, but Lady the Killer said, the one and only, hello. I love the message you gave about taking care of each other and the confidence you give in reporting any kind of mistreatment. You're great, Tyler. Greens from Mexico. Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you checking in over on Twitch. Amazing. And thank you. All the way from Mexico. That's awesome. All right. LinkedIn user said, good if you could cover going alone and starting a consultancy business in cybersecurity pen testing. I already covered that a little bit. I've made multiple videos on my YouTube channel. So go over to my YouTube channel. I see you're watching on LinkedIn and just kind of scroll through the videos. I've given a lot of updates on Hack Smarter and Cybersecurity. I will say that starting your own business is not for the faint of heart. I'm like incredibly anxious every single freaking day about like finances and clients and trying to keep growing and trying to not burn myself out in the process. I work on average right now about 60 to 70 hours a week, which is insane. I generally work during the day no matter what, from about 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., so your typical shift, hang out with my family, and then from about 8 p.m. to midnight or 1 a.m., I'm working every single night, and that's 7 days a week. So you do the math, it adds up. So it's a significant amount of work. And the biggest challenge I foresee for myself is burnout, right? If I burn myself out, I am not good for anyone. And so I need to be very careful about that. And so I'm still trying to figure out what that balance looks like. So for example, this Friday, my kids have this Friday off from school and Monday off from school. So I thought, hey, I should also try to take time off. Friday, I have a bunch of meetings in the morning, but I'm taking Friday afternoon off to take my kids to a pool, and we're going to swim and hang out. And then Monday, I took off as well. We'll do something fun that day. And in the summertime, I already scheduled this out. So in the summer, I'm taking every single Friday off because that's when our local pool opens here in my town. And so every Friday, me and my kids are going to hang out at the pool in the summer and try to do that as well. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. I'm the sole income provider for my wife and 2 kids. So like there's no backup plan. There's no other income coming in. Like I have to figure out a way to pay my bills. But going into this, I've been a pen tester for a few years. Before I was a pen tester, I was in the nonprofit world and made almost no money. When I became a pen tester, I never raised my standard of living, never bought a new car, never bought a new house, never upgraded anything. And all the extra money that I was making, I did a mix of investing it and putting it in savings. So when I went solo on my own, I had about 1.5 to 2 years of runway that I don't have to panic. I still panic. Like the anxiety doesn't go away, but I do know like even if I had 6 terrible months where I'm making no money, I don't have to stress because I have that money in savings and I can slowly build things up. So I can approach KairosSec and HackSmarter with a long-term vision rather than a short-term vision, which is huge. If you don't have that runway, I do not recommend trying to quit and do your own thing. It is way more difficult than one would think. Yasser said, I have a master's degree in cybersecurity and 2 internships and still having a hard time to get a job. Do you have any advice for me? I don't know if a master's degree in cybersecurity is going to help you a whole lot if you don't have experience. So I know you can't go back on this, but maybe some advice for others. Do not get a master's degree if you don't have experience. I see a lot of people, they get like a bachelor's and then a master's and then they look for their first IT job. That's a bad idea. Right? A master's degree is something you should pursue after you have a few years of industry experience to kind of add to your resume and add a little more flavor to your learning journey. Having a master's degree before you even get a job, employers are going to be asking questions like, why do you have this? Are you overqualified? Things of that nature. I know you can't change that now, but generally getting a job, especially nowadays, that's not what you know, it's who you know. You need a network. Attend meetups, be active in Discord, be active on LinkedIn, start a YouTube channel, build a blog, like as many things as you can. One thing I want to do, guys, and you let me know. You let me know if you think that this would be helpful or not. I kind of did it in Discord the other day, but I would love to do a stream where I don't know if it's called like Let Me Roast You or something, but you share with me your LinkedIn and your YouTube or your blog, whatever you want, and I just look at it on stream and I will give you very critical feedback on what you're doing well and what you're terrible at. I don't know if that would be helpful. I don't know if it'd be too offensive. Of course, I wouldn't do it to anyone without their permission, but I would love to do something like that on stream to help everybody learn when it comes to that. Because I've talked to a lot of people who are like, hey, I'm doing all the things. Then I'm like, hey, can you share your LinkedIn and GitHub with me? And they posted on GitHub like once in the past 6 months, and they posted on LinkedIn once in the past 3 months. I'm like, you're not doing everything. Like, there's so much more that you could be doing if you really want to land a job in this field. The Colo said, go CVE hunting and then make a CTF based on that, and boom, more web machines on HackSmarter. Exactly. I mean, Silver Platter, that is on Try Hack Me before HackSmarter was around. But Silver Platter is a machine I made, and it's just based on CVEs I found in the real world. You stopped solving labs in Hacking Hub just because I have my own platform. Still a fan of Hacking Hub. They're good friends of mine. I actually promote them in the beginning of my course. But yes, I have my own labs now on HackSmarter, and I can't even get caught up with my own lab. So I'm not going to freely promote a bunch of other stuff when I still need to work on the labs on my own platform and help people work their way through those. Thank you, Roy. I'm also waiting for the web app pen testing course. Thank you, chat, for the kind words. I'm interested in starting to make some labs that I've never done it before. Do you have any resources on how I can start making these? I don't have any resources. I think TCM Security does. I will say that at HackSmarter, we have a pretty high bar for the machines. They have to be very realistic, real world, things that you'll actually see in a pen test. So if you've never made a lab, you might want to make some. some just for fun, spin up like an OVA and VirtualBox and see if you can make a vulnerable machine. And once you get a little bit of practice, reach out to HackSmarter and would love to showcase your work. We do have a QA process. I actually just created a Google form to make this a little simpler, but generally you submit your walkthrough. I'll look it over, let you know if it's realistic enough. If it is, it goes into a QA process. Then we have a volunteer QA team that goes through your machine, checking for realism. And then if it passes all that, then it gets scheduled to be released. Nevasek said, not to ask, just thanks for the Sliver course. Keep doing courses. Hey, thank you. I will keep doing courses. If we have time, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of some other things that I'm working on. HackSmarter All Access came out. I've been on the lookout. It's been out for a while, my friend. You should go sign up for it, right? Only $16.99 a month for the annual plan. All my courses, all the Hack With Me's, all the labs. We add new content literally every single week. So you are definitely getting your money's worth. You should check it out. And all access means all access. Like literally, people have asked me that question. Is there anything you don't get access to? No. Like all access means everything on the platform is unlocked, unlimited, etc., etc. Do you recommend to get into help desk and move up the ladder to become a pen tester? Said Digital Liquid. Take whatever job you can get is what I recommend. Yes. If help desk is the job that you can get right now, take it. And then see if you can do any security adjacent stuff at the organization and move into the security side of things. But yes, any job that you can get, take the job in IT. You need to start somewhere. And I honestly think help desk is an amazing place to start. It gives you an ability to troubleshoot. You'll often get to work with Active Directory. You'll get to do some security adjacent like phishing detection type stuff. You'll get a lot of experience working with end users. That'll apply to clients if you become a pen tester. Yes, yes, yes. The Colo said you really just need to convey competency. You can do that with CVE, CTF write-up, security projects, and mainly understanding security as well in business. Spot on. Ooh, why doc templates? I must be way behind on chat. You guys are still talking about Dratis. I know, Thick Colo. It hurt my heart too when I had to mess with it. Academia. 8827 said, hey man, from Turkey, I'm a uni student and I've been trying pen testing for a year by now. Certs are very expensive. What other alternatives can I do? I think I've already answered that question earlier. Speaking of doc templates, will you ever do a lab or course on making malicious docs? I don't know. I don't feel like... You guys tell me. I feel like the days of sending a malicious Word document that like fires off macros are over. There's a lot of security things built into it now that prevent that. You have the mark of the web that gives a user a very clear idea, like don't freaking click this. Of course, you can social engineer someone into doing it, but there's far easier ways to phish someone. Like if I'm doing a phishing campaign, I'm not sending a doc template. I'm cloning an employee portal, and I'm sending an email to the fake employee portal after I clone their domain, and I'm making a phone call. I'm not sending a doc template because there's too many things that can go wrong with that. And then I'm using that employee portal to steal their credentials. It's much more effective than sending a malicious doc. I know like in the OSEP, so I'm doing the OSEP right now. You may have heard of the OSCP, the Pen 200. The OSEP is a more advanced version of that. So I've been going through that slowly, and they teach like doc phishing stuff in that course, but the course is also pretty old. Like their doc phishing stuff is from 2020, so that's 6 years ago now, and I don't think it's effective in the real world from my experience. How to get the course for free? You don't. If I go on my rant, I had someone on LinkedIn too, and if you're watching the live stream, I don't mean to pick on you, but I made a post about our upcoming Blue Team Lab, and someone was like, Tyler, can you extend the free time longer? I don't want to get a sub right now. Guys, I don't know why people think this, but I am not made of like unlimited money. I actually took a $70,000 pay cut in order to start the stuff that I'm doing now. So I don't have unlimited money. HackSmarter and Kairos have no outside funding. I'm the only fund. I'm the investor, my personal checking account. And so I really do have to balance the free content alongside of the paid content. And I already offer a lot of stuff for free. If you appreciate what I do, like, please, seriously, consider becoming a subscriber on the platform or purchasing one of the courses. That's the best way to support what I've done. I've made over 800 free videos. I have free stuff on the platform. We have these free things. I have free labs on the platform, a free workshop all hosted for you. Guys, it's free for you. It's definitely not free for me, and I have to balance those cloud costs. To give you a little bit of perspective of what HackSmarter costs, I just got this note from our provider. I'm looking at this month, so like the month of January, or not January, freaking, I don't even know what month it is. The month of February, rather, what we are looking at probably at cost-wise to host HackSmarter is I'm looking at probably $2,500 to $2,700, right? I don't know why I'm timesing it, but this is how much hosting the platform costs me. That's like 2 OSCPs every single month, right? And so when I'm just giving away free content, I will literally go broke. Once again, hosting this platform costs me $2,500 to $2,700 per month, depending how many VMs and stuff are launched. And I want to make sure all the VMs have good resources. Every student gets a private instance. So I'm not complaining about it, but when people are like, hey, give me free, this is why I can't just do everything for freaking free. I will quite literally go broke and the platform won't be around. So I do my best to make things very affordable, and yet I still do give out free content. So forgive me if I ever come off as frustrated when people are like, Tyler, give me free stuff. I give a lot of free stuff away. Hey, Nurko said, I bought the HackSmarter sub. Really like it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Could you share a web bug bounty methodology or checklist you use? That is all in the course. You'll see a full methodology in the course that I think you'll find helpful. And if you have the sub, it will be included, at least the all access sub. In short, SMTP and email is not safe in general. Exactly. What is your pricing mechanism for pen testing and red team operations? Are you talking about like what we charge for a pen test? It depends on scope and what we're looking at. Thicola said standards $1,000 a day for a pen test. It depends on who you're working with. So I can give you, like I did this before, a really good idea of what pen test vendors cost. The big pen test vendors, I'm thinking like, the Bishop Foxes, the ones that are well known, right? You're looking at a day rate of about $4,000. Because what those firms charge is $500 an hour. You don't see this. And I don't know Bishop Fox for sure, okay? This is just, why does my numlock randomly stop working? This is just generally what those bigger firms cost, is their day rate is $4,000. So if you do like a 5-day web app pen test by them, you're going to be looking at $20,000, right? Kairosec, it depends on the client. It's sort of a sliding scale, but generally what our rate is, our day rate's about $1,600. So if we were to do a 5-day pen test, you're looking at $8,000 as opposed to $20,000. So we're more than half the price of those bigger firms. But I would argue, and our clients would agree, that we do just as good, if not a better job than those bigger firms. Because often when you go to those bigger firms, you're going to get like a junior pen tester doing the work, unless you're a well-known client. Whereas if you go with Kairosec, I'm the one doing all your pen testing for you. And in my opinion, it's really well done. But that's generally what pen testing costs from the business side of things. 404 Bank is insane. Best AD box I've ever done. Good. I'm glad you like it. That is awesome. 404 Bank is a lot of fun. For those of you who haven't done it, you should check it out. I think it's our most recent one. Yeah, 404 Bank right here, a medium-rated Active Directory lab. I think you guys will enjoy it. Do you attribute your success to your facial hair? I do. It absolutely I do. Oh, we just got the gifted memberships from Not Just Fun 5004. Thank you. You are amazing. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for gifting out those memberships. You are amazing. You are today's MVP. I really do appreciate you. Tyler, will you be doing 404 Bank on stream? Yes, I'll be doing all these machines on stream. I'm doing them in order, and it takes me a while to go through them. So this welcome is the one that we'll be starting in the next live stream, but I'm literally going in order. I will solve every single machine as we go. It's just that we release machines all the time. It's a hard problem, right? I can't even get caught up with HackSmarter. That's how much content we release on a regular basis. All right, scrolling. Port Zero said, maybe one day the industry will recognize HackSmarter Labs training as certs since they're better than most in the market. Yeah, I don't plan on coming out with our own certifications. There's too many certs in general, but I will argue that our labs and our courses are better training than a lot of the big names that you've heard of, and significantly more affordable. Red teaming, can you tell which path to take? OSCP, CVE, platform, blogs. I already answered that question earlier. Rewind for the fuller explanation. What's your advice for speaking at more events? Ah, man, that's a good question, Dakota, and you might have better advice than me. I don't travel, and that's on purpose. I only attend a few different events. I go to DEF CON each year in Vegas. I go to Wild West Hacking Fest in Deadwood, South Dakota, and Simply CyberCon in South Carolina. I do not go to any other conferences. I do not travel for work. When a pen test engagement's like, hey, we need you on site for the engagement, I say, hey, find a different vendor. I don't travel. And the reason I don't travel is I like my kids. I want to be home with my kids. I don't care about money that much. I just want to pay my bills. As long as I can pay my bills, I don't need more money at all. And I'm not going to accept engagements and stuff to make more money. So I don't travel to events. Therefore, I don't speak at very many events. I think I'm naturally a good speaker for a few reasons. I've always enjoyed public speaking. Matter of fact, way back in high school, and I'm 32 now, so you can do the math. But back when I was in high school, I was actually on my school speech team, and we traveled around and we did speech competitions. So even in high school, I spent a lot of time learning how to do public speaking. And then for those of you who know my story, you know that for 10 years, I was in pastoral ministry. So every single week for 10 years, I stood in front of people and I gave like 30 to 45 minute talks. So I have a lot of experience doing public talking. And so when I get the opportunity to speak at events, I think I do a decent job, but I don't generally apply to speak at events. Simply CyberCon was a conversation with Jerry. DEF CON, I did not submit to talk at DEF CON. Namsek, you guys may have heard of him. He's a good friend of mine, but Namsek reached out to me on Discord like 2 weeks before DEF CON. And he was like, hey, Tyler, do you want to be on the keynote panel for the Red Team Village? And I was like, dude, yes, yeah, I do. So I didn't apply to talk at Red Team Village. Namsek just invited me. And so that's how it's happened for me. People just invite me to talk. I don't actually like submit things to talk at those places. So my advice is once again, networking. Is it possible to search for Semicolon Academy in Lebanon? Sure. I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to share my screen yet, but I'll search for it. Is this what you are referring to? Look, you can save a percentage on Ethical Hacking 101. I don't know anything about semicolon hacking, but looks cool. What's it cost? If it's in Lebanon, I'd hope it's, nope, I'm not going to do that. Nope. Yeah, I don't know much about it. I've never heard of them before. That doesn't mean that's a bad thing by any means, but I don't know what your question is about them. When starting your business, when did you feel ready as far as having enough technical skills? That's a good question. I think when you're at kind of that senior pen tester level and you can handle engagements without constantly pinging other people, then technically you're ready. But I would say technical skills are only a small price of it, right? Running your own business takes way more than technical skills. It takes communication skills. It takes managing a budget. It takes managing the business side of things. This is not my first rodeo, right? So in the nonprofit or church world, I was a founding pastor there. I was a church planner. I won't go into the details there, but essentially started a church from scratch, managed it, grew it over the course of 10 years. And so, of course, nonprofit and business are a little bit different, but a lot of things relate to each other. So before starting my own business in the cybersecurity world, I was basically an entrepreneur for 10 years. I didn't have a boss. I was my own boss. So I'm used to carrying that weight on my shoulders of like the buck stops here and you have to figure out a way to pay bills. So I'm actually more used to that than I am of being someone's employee. So my story is probably a little bit different. What's up, Hello Virus? One quick question. If I am completing all the AD labs in Hack Smarter, will I be able to cover 70% AD CTF methodology? I don't actually understand your question. If you complete all the AD labs in Hack Smarter and actually take your time to learn, you will know Active Directory pen testing really well. Joshua said, which is better to start within for cyber career, freelancing or working with the company? Working with the company. You can't do freelancing if you don't understand how to do the job in the first place. And the best way to learn the job is by working with a company so you have seniors over you who can mentor you and help you. What's up, Ferry? Hey, by the way, I don't know if this is a good question. Well, it's an AMA. You can ask me anything, good or bad questions. And please don't answer if you don't want to. Got it. Were you married before you switched to cyber? If yes, how did you support a married life being a pastor? We were broke, but yes, I was. I got married very, very young. I got engaged, and I don't recommend this for most people. It worked out for me, but I got engaged my senior year of high school. The summer after I graduated, we got engaged, and I got married when I was 19. My first job was working at Sam's Club as a supervisor while being very, very broke as a couple. We had my my daughter is 9 now. I'm 32. So you do the math. I think I was like 23 when we had our daughter, and I was working 3 different jobs. That's how I did it. There was no way I could have supported my family just being a pastor. So I was a pastor. I worked part-time at a technical college with like student success and the library. I helped with stuff there. And then I did IT stuff on the side as well, like random IT gigs on the side. So I always had 3 or 4 gigs that I was balancing in order to provide for my family. As a pastor, my first few years as a pastor, I made about $10,000 a year. And so it was not paying any bills. By the end, I was making maybe $30,000 a year as a pastor while trying to support a family of 4. It was not sustainable. It was not doable. What is the reason why degrees aren't really required for pen testing roles, unlike SOC analysts or government red team roles? Because pen testing are usually smaller organizations and they care less about degrees and more about skills. Usually you need the degrees for the bigger organizations because it's like an HR checklist. For a pen testing firm, they just want to know, can you hack stuff and can you report stuff? If the answer is yes, they'll hire you. They're not interested in degrees. They're interested in your skill level. And degrees are not a good indicator of offensive security skill. I have a bachelor's in cybersecurity. We had like 1 course on pen testing, and it was nothing close to what pen testing is actually like. Degrees do not cover what it means to be a pen tester, not even close. And pen testing firms know that. How long should you stay at a job without raising red flags for job jumping? The general advice is 2 to 3 years, but I changed jobs about every 4 to 6 months when I first got into IT, and it worked fine. Roast me if you want. All right, cool. I'm glad you guys find that idea cool. I'm so behind on chat. I apologize. What is your pen test pricing mechanism? Already answered that. Hello, Tyler. Love the content. Can you give me motivation boost? I failed my last OSCP attempt at 60 points. My best motivation boost I can give you is you need to join a community. Like, that's literally why we started Hack Smarter. Hack Smarter started because me and my friend Nate were studying for the OSCP and we needed mutual encouragement and to hold one another accountable. That's why Hack Smarter is still here. So if you aren't not part of the Hack Smarter Discord, you need to join. We have a study group for the OSCP. We have weekly goal meetings. We have a lot of things going on all the time, and all of that is free. I just dropped a link in chat. So my advice is join the Hack Smarter Discord if you're not already there, and I think you will find the encouragement that you are looking for. Okay. Let me scroll through chat quick. I'm coming up. I got to jump off shortly, guys. Like 10 minutes, but let me answer a few more questions. Is there a plan to do a 12-month sub rather than pay monthly for a year? You pay a bulk payment for 12 months? That's basically what this is. So if you, Dark Trace X, if you pay for an annual plan, okay, if you don't want to be charged at the end of the year, if you don't want it to auto renew, like if you just want to pay for 12 months, subscribe to All Access and then cancel your subscription. The subscription will go through the end of the year, but you won't be auto charged. That's how you would do it. The only downside, though, is if the price of All Access goes up, you'll have to pay the increased price when you want to renew. Whereas if you subscribe and stay subscribed, you're locked in at whatever rate you started with. Hopefully that helps. But if you just want to do a 12-month sub, just subscribe and then cancel your sub, and it'll be active through the rest of the next 12 months, but it won't auto-renew at the end of the 12 months. Hey man, I'm building my own pen test company. Could you bring me some insights? I think I already did a lot of insight stuff earlier in the stream, so I know I'm behind in chat. If you weren't here earlier in the stream, rewind the stream, and I talked a lot about pen testing and business side of things. Any way to donate a monthly subscription? Yes, actually. I've had a few people do that. If you've seen me doing giveaways recently, it's because people gave in order for me to do those giveaways. So I do have a Ko-Fi here. What I love about Ko-Fi is they don't take a big cut of it. So if you would like to give to a monthly membership, you can just, do $29.99. Well, I meant to do I meant to do $29.99. If you want to do $2,999, that works as well. But you can give on Ko-Fi and just specify the message to sponsor a monthly thing. And if you have someone specific you want to sponsor, I can give you a voucher to share with them. Or if you want me to do the giveaway and stream, I can do that as well. But yeah, or if you just want to be like, hey, Tyler, you're amazing. Go have supper with your family or something. You can also just give on Ko-Fi. That would be amazing as well. So you can check out Ko-Fi for any of the donation stuff. Would be awesome. If you have the financial means to do so. No pressure though. We're in 2nd January month. Exactly, Zebra. Obscure said, hey, Tyler, really appreciate your effort on assisting to have a better community. However, I am in cybersecurity. However, I need to be a pen tested and almost, I don't know what you're saying. However, I need to be a pen tested and almost completing all the AD challenges. If I am completing all the AD, will I be able to do other CTF without looking the write up? Your hack smart. Oh, I see what you're asking. Obscura, yes, you will be able to. Take good notes and you will be able to. What's up, a video? I lost track of your channel. It's nice to see you again. Nice to see you again as well. I just got my EJPT and studying to get ECCPT. I know how is this a business on your own. I'm just learning, but if I can help. Thank you. What value do you see in insane and hard machines? Are they realistic or are they generally CTF-ish? Thicolo, this might be unpopular opinion. I generally think it depends on the platform. I think the hack the box machines that are like insane level, they're more secure than real world environments, or they have artificial steps that make them overly difficult. So it depends on the platform. The hard machines on HackSmarter, I think, are fair. They're rated as hard, but they're also very realistic, things that you will see in the real world. But the problem with Hack the Box, and don't misinterpret me, I'm a huge fan of Hack the Box. Okay. But Hack the Box pays people who submit machines based on the difficulty of the machine. So if you submit a hard or insane machine, you make more money than if you submit an easy machine. And what I think people do is they make their machines artificially difficult in order to increase the payout, not necessarily because it's realistic. I am live on Twitch underneath hack_smarter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. I enjoy the content in the labs on HackSmarter and like to spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come join HackSmarter. Okay, I apologize. I'm not able to get to all the questions. But here's the thing, guys. There's a lot more questions here I didn't get to. Here's the good news. All right, bad news is I am on a pen test right now, and the client is paying for this time. So I can't just constantly stream. I just took an hour, sort of my lunch break, to hang out with you guys. But I do have good news. I have very good news. Let me actually pull it up on my phone, because that's going to be the easiest way to get my calendar. But, all right, tomorrow, I finish up the pen test today, and then I just have to get the report done tomorrow. So I have a lot more freedom tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You have to do the time zone conversion. But tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I plan on jumping on stream and streaming for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Thursday as well, I'll be streaming. We have our first Blue Team lab. By the way, we're adding Blue Team content to Hack Smarter. We have our first Blue Team lab coming out on Thursday called Source Leak. So I will be doing a stream on Thursday when that machine releases, and then we're going to do some hacking as well on Thursday. So I'll be live streaming for a couple of hours on Thursday. Friday, I have a bunch of meetings, and then I'm taking Friday afternoon off to hang out with my family. Monday is President's Day. My kids have it off from school, so I'm going to take it off to hang out with my kids. But then next Tuesday, my web app pen testing course comes out. I'll be live streaming that morning. Same with Wednesday, same with Thursday, same with Friday. Guys, almost every single day after today, I will be live streaming and hacking all the things with you guys. So if you enjoy these, make sure you come back. It's going to be during the day. I know there's a lot of people who enjoy the night streams, and I occasionally stream at night. But that's one of the things I'm noticing, guys. Once again, I am no good to anyone if I burn myself out. And when I'm working all day and then jumping on stream at night, it just becomes a little bit too much for me. The evening, like, for example, I'll give you guys my snapshot from yesterday. I did my normal working during the day. got off work, had supper with my family. It's Girl Scout cookie season, which if you missed my kids' commercial, go to my YouTube channel, you can see it, but it's cookie season. We ate supper super fast, me and my 2 kids. We then went door to door for about 2 hours in our town in like 30-degree weather, so it was cold, selling Girl Scout cookies. Finally got home, got my kids put to bed, and then I exercised for about an hour and a half to get exercise in, took a shower, and then it was like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, did a little bit of work, and then went to bed. So like, I don't have, people say like, what do you do with your free time? I don't freaking have free time, right? And so when I'm trying to stream on top of all of that, like being a dad and being a husband and working and having 2 businesses, I will quite literally destroy myself. And Hacks, Murder, Kairos, like everything will disappear because I'll just get so burnt out that I can't handle it anymore and I will disappear from the internet. I don't want that to happen. I don't think you want that to happen. But the good news is I will be streaming almost every single day during the day. I'm just not going to be streaming as much at night because it's way too much to balance all of that. But guys, I appreciate all of you. You are amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for your support. One more time, if you want to continue to make streams and content possible, please consider becoming a subscriber over on Hack Smarter. Everything's very affordable. My web app course comes out in 1 week, $29.99 for lifetime access. So buy all the things, support what we are doing. It's very affordable, and all the funds are used to, well, continue to build up the platform and continue to make content and courses that are accessible and affordable. Now, I apologize. I know I did not get to all the questions, but I do have to get back to work, back to pen testing and hacking all the things. So thank you for being here. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow, though. And tomorrow, we'll do a little bit of AMA, but then we're going to dive into, I think, the Welcome Lab on the Hack Smarter platform. I think it's Active Directory. So we'll do that together. Make sure you join me tomorrow again for some more live streaming, more AMA, more hacking, all the things. But I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.